Hello and welcome, my dear grade 11 advanced students, to my channel Mathematics Made Easy. This is Ms. Ruchika welcoming you to Term 2 revision from the exam coverage EOT for your coming math exam. Today in this session, we are going to revise Chapter 6 Conic Sections and Parametric Equation. And as you see, our learning objective is to revise parabola, ellipses, hyperbola, and circles. So in this session, I will be covering all important questions from your exam coverage, EOT for Term 2 Math exam, and we'll be beginning with MCQ followed by FRQ. So stay glued. This is going to be a long but very, very important video. Make sure you watch it till the end and like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that it serves as a motivation to me. All the best. Let's get started. Some tips for my students before we start is to always learn the formula sheet. If in your exam you have the formula sheet by the ministry, then it's very good for you. But if you don't get it, don't panic. So better you come prepared and learn all the important formulas for parabola, ellipses, hyperbola, and conic section. Very useful, and it will save a lot of time for you. Also, to revise all the presentation from these individual lessons, from the chapter 6 conic section and parametric equation. If you follow these tips and solve the EOT questions, you'll be getting very good marks from this lesson. So here on the screen, you can see the formula sheet for parabola, which was lesson 6.1. So there are two types of parabolas, as you know, which is vertical, which is horizontal. You should learn this formula sheet nicely so that you are not spending too much time on solving the questions and you are already prepared well in advance for the formulas that you will use for a particular question. Also remember the formula sheet which I showed you in the previous slide. If you have an equation like this where there is a perfect square, it's the standard form. It can be vertical, it can be horizontal. But if you have an equation like this where you don't have a perfect square, you need to convert it into a perfect square in the standard form, then it's called general form. Ax square plus bx plus c. Generally, as we proceed with your EOT question, the first question that we solve in the next slide would require you to convert from general to standard form. The method we are going to use is a little bit of algebra, which is a plus b whole square identity a square plus 2ab plus b square, or sometimes we also use with the minus sign. So only the middle term changes sign, this one. Also, we will use the method called as completing the squares to convert from general to standard form. And also, while you do that, you will be adding or subtracting the same value, which is minus b over 2 whole square. Okay, so just remember this shortcut. This will help you for solving and converting from general to standard form. So let's get started with the first question from parabolas. Okay, so let's start with learning objective 8, write equations of parabola in standard form. So here in question number 1, you are given the equation of the parabola in general form, means y equal to ax square plus bx plus c, this form. We need to convert this equation into standard form, means the perfect square form. So definitely we will be using a little bit of algebra. We'll also be using completing the squares method for doing this conversion to standard form. Next, after we do that, we need to find the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and the direction of opening the parabola, for which we will be using the formula sheet. So first I will be doing question 1 for you, and then similarly you will try out question 2 yourself. Towards the end of the session, I will also be giving you the final answer key for all the questions of conic section. So let's begin. So step 1 is to identify any common number that you have in the given equation. So 2 minus 24, 40. What number is common? Let's take it outside, 2. And inside I'm left with x square minus 12x plus 20. So I took the 2 outside and this is what I have. Now I need to make this thing, the bracket term, this trinomial into a perfect square. That means my goal is to convert this to a vertical parabola. So the standard form should be y equal to a times Let me write the equation. So x minus h whole square plus k. Now why did I choose this one? Why did I not choose the other one? The reason being because here x has the term which has power 2 square. So that means x minus h whole square is what we were trying to achieve. Once we are able to convert the given equation in question 1 to this form, finding the vertex axis of symmetry and direction of opening of the parabola would be pretty easy. So let's do this now. So look at the middle term. What is the number here? Value of b. So the rule is shortcut b divided by 2 whole square. This is the number you will add and subtract. So let's calculate this number. Here b, or the middle term with variable x, is minus 12. So I will take minus 12, divide by 2 and take 6 square. So this is minus 6 square or 36. So I know plus 36 minus 36 would turn this to a perfect square term. So let's complete the square. So I'm adding plus 36 minus 36. In this addition, I'm doing inside the bracket. So don't forget the 2 which is outside. So what do I have? 2 x square plus 36 can be written as a perfect square of 6. And I take the middle term minus 12x. What I'm left with is 2 times 20 minus 36. Not to forget this term. Okay, now these three can be converted into a perfect square using algebra. So first term is x, second term is 6, and there's a negative sign. So I took a minus b whole square. So what is left here? Let's see. So 20 minus 36 is minus 16 multiplied with 2. So the final equation is going to be minus 32. So y equal to this. Let us highlight this in a box and then compare it with the standard form so that we are getting everything easily. So comparison is quite easy. You compare this with this. So a is 2, h with 6, and k, don't forget the sign, with 32. So how much is your a? 2, h 6, and k minus 32. So let's now make the table of values. We will write all the things we need. We need vertex, we need axis of symmetry, and we also need direction of opening of parabola. So already we discussed it's a vertical parabola, so the vertex is h comma k. That means h is 6 minus 32. That's your answer. Axis of symmetry is given by the formula x equal to h. X is 6, so that's your axis of symmetry. Now mind you, x equal to 6 passes through the point 6 comma 0 on the x-axis, so this is going to be a vertical line. So if the vertical axis of symmetry is there, definitely the parabola that you get is vertical parabola. Okay, last thing, direction of opening. So direction of opening is decided by the sign of A. A is equal to 2, positive. So which direction it will open? It's a vertical, so up or down 2 direction. Because A is positive, so it opens upward. So that completes answer 1. Similarly, try question 2. It is also a vertical parabola, so the same formula sheet will work for you. So now you can check your answers from the answer key. We already did question 1. In a similar way, if you would have done your question 2 correctly, then your answers are as follows. Let's now solve some questions on a horizontal parabola. So first thing, how do I know this is horizontal? Because this time y has power 2. So the standard equation which I will convert to would be a times y minus k whole square plus h. This is what I want. So let's do it, and for that we will be combining these two terms, minus 11 separate, and we'll be using the same logic of completing the square, where I take b, which is minus 8 in this question, divide by 2 and take the square. So this is minus 4 square or 16. So I know 16 is the number that will be added or subtracted. So I do that, add 16, subtract 16, not to forget the minus 11. So now I can combine these three terms. This is a square, this is b square. So y minus, why did I choose minus? Because there's negative, and 16 is the perfect square of 4, so y minus 4 whole square, and I combine these two negative numbers. So what I do is just add them and retain the negative sign. Okay, so have I reached to what I wanted? Perfectly, yes. I can compare this with y minus k whole square plus h now. So I know my a is 1, k is 4, and h is minus 27. You can write it here, a is 1, h as minus 27, and k as 4. So what's my vertex, axis of symmetry, and direction? Now if you want, you can make the table here. So vertex, axis of symmetry. Let's do this one first. So h comma k means h is minus 27 comma. So that's your vertex. Now axis of symmetry is given by y equal to k. So y equal to 4, and y equal to 4 passes through the point 0 comma 4 on the y-axis. So this is definitely horizontal, and that is why, because the axis of symmetry is horizontal, this question is on horizontal parabola. And we already took the standard form as this one. Perfect. So vertex is done, axis of symmetry done, opening of parabola. So A decides your opening of parabola. A is positive. So left or right, which direction it's going to open? Definitely it opens right because A is positive. So that completes question 3. Similarly, I would want you to try question 4 yourself. And now I provide answer key to check. So as we completed question 3, you can match your answers. All of them are perfectly correct, and I hope you tried question 4 in a similar manner and received the correct answer. This is the answer key for question 3 and 4 to check for you. And now we proceed further and learn and solve more questions on parabola. So now I'm moving forward to learning objective 9 in the next slide. Okay, so now our learning objective number 9 tells us to graph the parabola. And before we do the graph of the parabola, we have to write the equation of the parabola using the information for each question. So look at question 26, 27. We'll try to do both here, and then next slide we can check for the graph. So first thing you need to identify, dear girls, is to look at the vertex and the focus coordinate. What is same? Can you see both of them have same x coordinate? So when you have same x coordinate, as you compare between the vertex and the focus, you will get to know that the parabola is of the form y equal to x minus h whole square plus k. This one. That means this is my vertical parabola. Okay, so you can also check from the formula sheet. If you look, the coordinates of the vertex are given by h comma k. So h is 0, k is 1. This is quite easy. And when you look at the coordinates of focus, the formula says h comma k plus 1 by 4a. This is the formula for this vertical parabola. Okay, so we will use this now. We know h is 0, we know k is 1. What we don't know is a, so we can get a from this value. So first two coordinate is 0, so the second one, 1 plus 1 by 4a should be equal to 4. So this gives us 1 by 4a equal to 3. What I do, I move 1 on the other side, and now I can do cross product. Very, very easy. So what I'm going to get, let me write it here. I will get 1 over, or maybe I write it in this way better. 1 with 1 is 1. So on the other side, it's 12a. Divide both sides by 12. So your a is 1 by 12. Now, is a positive or negative? It's positive. So which direction will this parabola open? Upward. So many information we got. We got the value of h, we got the value of k, we got the value of a also. So now I can also use one more point before we do the graph, which is axis of symmetry, so that I know, which kind of symmetry this parabola is going to have. So axis of symmetry for vertical parabola is given by x equal to h, means x equal to 0. Now this is nothing but y-axis. That means the parabola which I'm going to draw for this one, question 26, is going to be a vertical parabola. At what point it starts? Vertex 0, 1. What is the direction? It opens upwards. What is the symmetry? It is symmetric about y-axis. So all of this information along with the values of a, h, k will help me to graph the parabola. Okay, so graph we'll do on the other side. Let's finish 27 also in a similar manner. The vertex is very simple. Vertex is h comma k. So you know h is 1, k is 8. Now let's see how directrix helps. Now, if you look at the equation of the directrix, it's given to you y equal to 3. Means if I try to graph this, this will come out to be horizontal line, right? Passing through which point? 0, 3. Perfect. If my directrix is horizontal, always remember my parabola will be vertical. That means which equation I will use for this? Y equal to a times x minus h whole square plus k. Just like the previous question. This is also a vertical parabola, so I will use the same equation. So equation of vertical parabola for directrix, that's what I'm going to use here. So that is given by formula y equal to k minus 1 by 4a. Now this thing is equal to 3, already given. And do you have k value? Yes, k is 8. So from here I can easily get my value of a. So what do? I move this 3 here and negative term here. So it is 5 equal to 1 by 4a. Again, do cross product, multiply. So this comes out to be 20a equal to 1. So your a is 1 over 20. Now again, it's positive. So the parabola is going to open in upwards direction. We can also do the axis of symmetry in a similar manner. So it will come equal to x equal to h or x equal to 1. So the parabola for 27, which is again a vertical parabola, will be having the graph symmetric about the line x equal to 1. Okay, so now we are ready to graph the parabola. So this is the answer key for the two graph questions. If you observe, first you go to graph and you plot the first point, which is 0, 1, which is the vertex. Then you know the axis of symmetry is x equal to 0. So the kind of parabola you get on the right side, same as left side. Similarly here, and here the symmetry was through x equal to 1. So that is this point. So this is your vertex, correct? So the vertex is very, very important. Also the symmetry. And if calculators are not allowed for your exam, then you can always do the graph using table of values. So take at least 3 to 4 points, different values of x and y. So for example, if I take x as 0 for this one, then put it in calculator. This is 0, so y is 1. So 0, 1 is 1 point, which we start with. Now, as we proceed, we increase our value of x. So for example, I put x as 1. Then this will be 1 by 12 plus 1, so a little bit more than 1. You can do it on your calculator, and this will come out to be a decimal definitely, so you can add the decimal to it. Sometimes you can round off also, so this will be approximately 1.083. So as we proceed, these are the points that we will get. Join these dots, you get the right side, similarly left side, and that completes your graph. Okay, let us now solve some more questions. Now these are on horizontal parabola. So let's look how we get it. So first you look at your directrix. Directrix is x equal to h. That means what is your, directrix is x equal to h minus 1 by 4. Okay. So if you compare here, the directrix will come out to be passing through this point minus 6. You can draw it, it will come out to be a vertical line. So if your directrix is vertical, remember your parabola is horizontal. So which equation we will use for the parabola? Let's write it. Y equal to a times x minus h whole square plus k, right? So now for this one, we will try to find all the values. So I use the formula for focus. The focus formula for horizontal parabola is given by h plus 1 by 4a comma k. So this is given to be equal to minus 2 comma minus 4. So one value which I get directly as k is minus 4. So we know k is minus 4. Let's try to find h and a. So for that, I will use these two equations, the directrix and the focus. So h plus 1 by 4a, which is the focus, is equal to minus 2. We already know. And from the directrix, which is minus 6, the value is h minus 4a. So what will I do with these two equations? Observe, there is only difference of sign, so better I add, because when I add, these two gets cancelled. So h plus h, 2h, equal to minus 8. So how much is your h? You got it right. Minus. So you got your h. Now you can get your a very easily. So let me use this equation. H plus 1 by 4a is minus 2. H is minus 4a. Sorry, h is minus 4. So I make it on the other side. Plus 4. So 2. So a is going to be 1 over 8. So if you think how I got this, then you know it is cross product that will help me. So I have everything. I have a 1 by 8. I have h 1 by 4. I have k. So I can put it all here and get my equation of the parabola. So this final answer will be 1 by 8 times x minus h plus. So this is my final equation. Now you can proceed similarly in the like we did in the last question and get to the graph. So for graph you need vertex, which is h comma k, so minus 4 comma minus 4. You also need axis of symmetry, which is given for this one uh, by the equation x equal to h, so x equal to minus 4. Also you can proceed with the table of values and observe the symmetry. So I will show you now the answer key for these two questions. Similarly, try question 29. So now you can check your answer key. I have done the graphs for both the questions for you, and I hope you all were able to solve question 29 yourself and got the correct answer. In a similar way, you can solve question 30 and 31, and with that, we have come to the end of parabolas as conic section. Next, we proceed to circles from the next slide. First, I will give you the formula sheet. And then from the EOT exam coverage for term 2, we will solve a lot of word problems on circles. So stay glued for my next video.